begin. My name is Anayeli.
My name is Ashton and I'm an LVN.
And my name is Michelle and I'm an RN.
Okay, today, ladies, I will be presenting to you our presentation with my fellow classmates, Diana, Kathy, Dorothy, and Nash. I will be the only presenter, but I will be presenting what we worked on. So, business in Mexico. One of the things that I want to share with you is just housing in Mexico, okay? So, one of the things that you'll notice is that there's a difference between middle class and high class. In high class, you have wide areas of land, you have extensive gardening, you have a lot of parking spaces, you have 5 bedrooms or more in each house. You have bathrooms with jacuzzis, marble floors. Where in contrast with middle class homes, you have old architecture, no luxury, small areas, and probably less than 3 rooms. So this is what housing looks like in Mexico. Clothing. When we talk about traditional clothing, one of the things for women is china poblana, which I'm sure you've seen before, which you have the big skirts and the white shirts. For the men, they have what's called a chavo suit, with a big hat and boots. When we speak of just business, when you're conducting business in Mexico, you're gonna have the same thing, just business attire. For women, classic suits and jackets. For men, classic suits, ties. Food, it's my best and my favorite. So traditional food is tacos. You also have mole poblano. Mexicans love spicy food. Okay. Traditional beverages, you have chocolate, horchata. In Mexico, it is not uncommon to eat with your hands. So if you go to Mexico and you're conducting business there, it's okay to use your hands. So Mexico's class structure is determined by money, power, and status. That's a big concern in Mexico. Current class structure in Mexico, you have a big division between the poor and the wealthy. So the wealthy elite is going to make up for your 10%, while the poor is going to make up 65%. So there's a huge gap. Political patterns. Several major parties include small communist groups. Candidate pool cannot be more than 70 to 80% of one gender in most states. Women hold 1/4 of political offices. Absentee voting is allowed. Social customs, addressing others, public greetings, proper, improper gestures, conversation, and eye contact. That's something we're going to go over. So addressing others, you usually address others by last name when you come into a meeting, in your first meeting. You address them by last name. You want to make sure you speak to them with the appropriate titles. If you're speaking to a lawyer, a doctor, etc. Once invited to do so, you can use first names. So if someone says, please, say my first name, then that's okay. Otherwise, use last names. Public greetings, most of the time you will be greeted by handshake. It is not uncommon for Mexicans to greet you with a hug or a kiss. Women are more likely to kiss on the cheek, so women alone. Proper and improper gestures. You should bring gifts or flowers, sweets, items with your company logo. Okay. Any arm distance is normal for personal space. Touch of the arm represents relationships have been established. Avoid hands on hips, hostile gestures. Conversation. So in Mexico, when you're conducting business, it's almost of a social matter. You don't just get straight to business. It's actually a little bit rude not to kind of get to know the person you're conducting business with. You want to build that relationship. Eye contact, direct eye contact can be seen disrespectful. You should – when you're shaking someone's hand, you should make eye contact though. Attitude towards education. By law, children are required to start school at the age of 3, okay? Education law is built on a 3-tier system. Although education is valued, there are programs for those people that don't get to have a chance to get an education. So, attitude towards women in business in Mexico, 34% of women hold senior roles, 75% of women hold management positions, and Mexico is ranked number 4 in women representation and legislation. So, attitude towards Americans and cross-culture differences. Mexico is more sociable than the United States. So when you're there, be personable. Often obtain respect with colleagues and build relationships with them. Family life is very important in Mexico. The divorce rate, Mexico has more free trade agreement than any other nation. Most women work in entry-level jobs. Another thing is more women managers, 50% increase in profit margins. So moving on. In Mexico, the religion that most of the population is Catholic, okay? And the religion takes a lot part in business, so there are a lot of religious holidays, which you will notice. Economic institutions, so when it comes to their goods in Mexico, manufactured goods are what make a lot of the economy, major agriculture and oil. So those goods include electronics, vehicles, auto parts, oil products, silver, and plastics. Pemex is a huge oil company that's owned by the government. Agriculture products are corn, wheat, soybeans, rice, beans, cotton, sugarcane, and coffee. Businesses in Mexico are usually family-owned or government-owned. Business is conducted around family life, so do not be afraid when you're running a little late. Most of the time Mexicans are a little bit late because they focus on family rather than business. Mexico is home to a variety of foreign factories. So that wraps up my presentation and our work. Thank you for listening.